Hello and welcome back to Friday Minis. Now, if you go to school for programming, chances are quite early on down the line, you will be learning about 2D arrays, or perhaps 2D lists, depending on what language you're using. Of course, at this point, you would already be familiar with your basic list or array, right? It's a collection of items. You can index individual items by using your square bracket notation. So your 2D arrays come along as an extension to this concept. You have, instead of one set of square brackets to specify one index, you now have two, one to represent a row and one to represent a column. That seems to be quite a drastic change. So what exactly is going on under the hood? Well, we like to actually think about a 2D array as basically a table like this. Really, it's just a bunch of flat arrays. What's special about this, however, is that we have one giant array on the outside, and what we're doing is, instead of just storing the values, we are storing smaller arrays on the inside. So in fact, what you're creating here is an array of arrays. I have used spacing to lay this out in the exact same format as the original table, but note that this is just lists. I could easily have written it all in one line, but let's not do that because that's confusing, right? Let's go back to how we did it previously, and instead of looking at it in this very complex form, let's start by looking at our three internal lists as just single items. Once I do this, well, it should be pretty obvious how this actually works, right? You use one index to refer to one of these three items. Let's put our inner list back. It's exactly the same, right? Depending on the index you've actually specified here, you're just going to get one of these sublists that are inside. What you're doing is you are extracting a row out of your 2D list. Since the result of this is a list, you can do that indexing operation again. By sticking another set of square brackets in, what you're doing is you're searching for an item within this sublist that has just come back. Of course, since it's just numbers on the inside, the index we mentioned here will simply pick out the relevant item. And once you have that, you have that exact value. So that's the idea. Having two sets of square brackets isn't magic, isn't some special new notation. All you need to know is that the first set of square brackets will extract a row. Your second set of square brackets will then extract one particular value from that row. That's the whole idea. And in fact, if you can't have a clear picture of this, you can start building 3D lists, 4D, or further. All you're doing is nesting things deeper and deeper and deeper. And the further you go, the more you can actually read out, right, using more and more pairs of square brackets. No matter what dimensionality your data is, the basics don't change. When you use square brackets, you are extracting something out of a list. If that thing that comes back is a list, you can do that again, and again as many times as you need to, until you eventually end up with a single element. That's all there is for this episode of Friday Minis. Hopefully that has made 2D arrays a little bit simpler for you. But yeah, until next time, you're watching 0612 TV with NERDfirst.net. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my work and are feeling generous, you can shoot me a one-time donation on PayPal or sign up for a recurring one on Patreon. Of course, you can simply like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. For more videos, links to my channel and a related playlist are on screen. Thank you for your support.